Welcome to the Trip Tales podcast with me, Kelsey Graves. Let's jump into a new episode exploring a vacation destination that you'll want all the details about. Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for joining me today to share about your Dollywood and DreamMore Resort vacation. We are going to be really quick and efficient today because Laura is a teacher and she is so kindly using her short lunch break to talk to us today. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to share. It was such a fun trip.
Okay, awesome. Okay, I start each episode with a rapid fire get to know you. So tell us a little bit about yourself, where you live, your family, what you do, all that.
Okay, so I live in the southern part of New Jersey, all the way south. I teach second grade in Ocean City, New Jersey, which is a big tourist destination in the summertime and a little bit quieter in the winter, but we like it that way. I have two boys. My oldest is in kindergarten this year, and my youngest is 2.5.
Okay, great. I have a kindergartner as well.
Oh, cool.
Okay. So have you lived on the East Coast like most of your life?
Yes, I've always been East Coast. I went to college up near New York City, but since then, my husband and I have both moved back down to South Jersey, which is much different from North Jersey.
Okay. So living on the East Coast and in New Jersey, when did you first learn about Dollywood and what was it that made you want to make the trip?
We had friends who had visited the area. They had done Dollywood, Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, and we kind of got the idea from them. We had done Disney already. We had done a couple other beach vacations. We were looking for something a little different. We're very into the outdoors, so the Great Smoky Mountains were a big draw for us as well. And we kind of just looked it up and booked it on a whim as something out of the box to do.
So fun. Do you remember specifically how you found out about Dolly's DreamMore Resort? Was that also from your friends or was that another way that you found out?
So when I started researching Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg, the whole area, I was finding it hard to find lodging in the area that kind of fit our needs and fit, the type of vacation that we like to go on. And after a little research, we stumbled upon DreamMore and I was like, this is perfect. This is where we need to stay. So that's kind of how that came about.
Awesome. And you went in around Easter 2021, so springtime?
Yeah. So we have Good Friday, Easter, and the following week off from schools traditionally. So as a teacher, I kind of have to work around a school schedule. So we do typically do a spring break vacation, and that's when we traveled that year. I think it fell like mid-April on that year.
So do you remember she usually has these seasonal festivals going on. So in the spring, there would have been like a lot of greenery and florals and that sort of stuff.
Yes. Actually, as I was doing research and trying to jog my memory, my husband is a little bit of a hoarder and always keeps little trinkets from our trips. And I found our room key and it was Flower and Garden Festival, I want to say, or they might call it something a little different, but yeah.
Yes. So I'm going to quickly read through the festivals just so if listeners want to know. She always has something cool going on at the parks. Right now, before we get into the spring flower and food festival, is this new I Will Always Love You music festival, which is kind of fun. That's now through April 14th, which is like a festive event commemorating all of her songs, songwriting, and the stories behind the songs. Kind of when you first walk into Dollywood, there's always like a lot of decorations down the main walkway. And right now it's like a pink, sparkly sequin sky, which is so fun.
Oh, so cool.
And there's a lot of like sing-alongs and trios doing her songs and that sort of thing. So right now is all about Dolly's music. And then when you went, so starting April 19th through June 9th is the Flower and Food Festival, which has like plant sculptures and millions of colorful flower blooms. And the same walkway I was just talking about is like a big umbrella sky, which is pretty iconic and beautiful. All of them also have like different food items that kind of go with each festival if you can find them. Also this spring, which is kind of fun for listeners that are thinking about going back, there's a new Dolly Parton experience opening. So this is like a lot of different interactive experiences about her life and her songs, and there's museums and her costumes and all that. So if people are big Dolly fans, there's a whole new area opening for that. Then June 15th through August 11th is the Smoky Mountains Summer Celebration. September 9th through October 28th is the Harvest Celebration, which we love. The fall decorations are so gorgeous. There's pumpkins and mums everywhere. They even bring in Like they have like the biggest pumpkin you can grow contest. And there are pumpkins that are literally bigger than you could ever imagine. And it says like the farmer and where they live. I don't even know how they get them there. But that one's really beautiful and fun. And they have the Great Pumpkin Luminites at night where the park like transforms into this Halloween festive glowing, festival, which is really amazing. Like it's just like 12,000 glowing lights and pumpkins and stuff. And then November 1st through January 5th is the Smoky Mountain Christmas, which we did this last year. And I have to say, of all of them, that might be my favorite. It's hard to pick a favorite, but that's a winter wonderland with 6 million twinkling lights, dozens of Christmas trees, lots of yummy holiday flavors, and then a winter drone show at night. So anyways, I just wanted to go over all the different seasonal festivals. Anytime you go is perfect and amazing. And there's always one of those festivals going on. Okay, so back to your trip. So you had shared with me that you drove. So tell me about that experience. How long did it take? And did you do any stops along the way?
We did. So to get there from New Jersey, you kind of go straight down to Virginia and then all the way through Virginia into Tennessee. We stopped somewhere in Virginia our way out there, stayed overnight, just at, a holiday and off of the interstate or whatever we were on. And in total, I think it took us about 10 hours on the way back.
So bad.
It wasn't so bad. My kids, thankfully, are very good travelers. So it was not too bad on the way there. Now, on the way back, we tried to power through and go straight through, and it took us closer to like 14.
Oh, it's hard.
Yeah, because we traveled a busy time. So it was the Saturday, after Easter, and there was a lot of traffic, and
yeah,
we made it though.
Yes, you did. So after your long journey, describe what it was like to finally arrive at the resort, pulling up, and first impressions of the hotel and the lobby and all that.
So the hotel is beautiful. You pull up and there's butterflies everywhere. There's a butterfly sculpture out front. We walked in and we must have gotten there they have a little happy hour type celebration where they give out her famous pink lemonade. And they do a little craft and all that. So we had made our way in and stopped for some lemonade along the way and made our way to our room. And it was just gorgeous. I mean, floor to ceiling windows, the views were incredible. It was awesome.
And how was your room? Did you book one of the rooms that has the bunk beds?
We did. And my kindergartner has not stopped talking about it since. No room will ever live up to that. So when you walked into the room, there was a small room up front with a set of bunk beds and their own TV. And then towards the back was your main bedroom with a king size bed and another TV. And between the two were your bathroom.
So fun. Kids love their own TV.
Oh my gosh, you thought it was the greatest thing.
Yeah. And I think there's two types of rooms now that I've been thinking back and talking to people about this. I think there's one where you're kind of all in the same room. That's what we had. Mm-hmm. Our bunk beds were just kind of like off to the side along a wall. And then I think there's one where you can definitely try and book the divider wall. So which kind of helps with like bedtime and the kids trying to fall asleep at a different time and that sort of thing. So people should look for that. Yeah,
it did. And it really helped us because my youngest at the time was only 1.5. So we were able to put him to bed, in the back there and still hang out with my older son, and him and my husband could come and go as they pleased. They went down to the pool at night and stuff and didn't disturb him. It was really nice. There was a dividing door between the two areas.
Perfect. Do you remember what your view was of out the window?
We had a view of the pool.
So did we. Yeah. Which it's like so fun and festive. And it's like almost impossible not to go down every night when you can see everybody having fun.
Yes. And you saw the s'mores and stuff fired up out there. So yeah, it was a lot of fun to see that view every night.
Yeah. So we went in October and expected it could be chilly, but it was fine to swim and it was warm. So in April, it felt okay to swim as well.
It did. And I think the pool was heated and they also had that great indoor pool. So I think on the one day it was a little bit too chilly to be at the outdoor pool. So we just went to the indoor pool.
Yeah. And there is a hot tub as well, which helps.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay, on episode 2 of Trip Tales, the other Dollywood episode, I briefly went over the perks you get by staying on one of Dolly's 2 resorts, which are DreamMore and Heartsong. But I'm going to read through them really quick again. So, by staying at one of her resorts, you get priority access to the park, which means you get to enter through a different entrance than everybody else. You get a complimentary Dollywood Time Saver Pass, which is a value of $60 per person per day, which helps you skip some of the lines. You get complimentary door-to-door transportation, which was our favorite thing. It feels like a little VIP trolley that parks right outside the hotel. You hop on and it takes you over to that priority entrance. This one I didn't know at the time, but good to know now. You get complimentary package delivery. So anything that you purchase that's over $25 or like oversized can be delivered to the resort for free. So when you get back at the end of your day, you can stop by the front desk to retrieve your item, which is really good to know for that country fair area. If kids win those massive stuffed animals, maybe you can just send it back to the hotel. And then Saturday early entry days. It's hard for me to recall if we took advantage of this or if we were even there on a Saturday, but kind of like Disney, if you are there on one of the early entry days, you get into the park an hour early, which is such a bonus. So do you remember taking advantage of any of these perks?
Yes, we definitely took advantage of the transportation, which was great. And it really just makes you feel immersed into the whole Dollywood atmosphere. It kind of feels like you said, like you're on a little VIP tour. And we were able to just kind of park our car and, jump on the trolley and get over to the park and all that. In addition to that, I don't know if this is still a perk, but when we went, they also gave my preschooler like a whole season pass, a preschool season pass when we went down to retrieve our tickets. Yeah, I mean, we were never able to go back and reuse it, but
that's a cool and a smart thing to do. And was it only for the preschooler?
Yeah, it was only for the preschooler.
Like a special little perk for them, but then like the rest of the family would have to get on board and figure it out. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
One other thing I liked, I don't know if you guys did this, and I didn't talk about on the other episode, was right when you get into Dollywood, there is this little area where you can take your kids and measure their height. And then they get a little wristband. It's like yellow, green, red, orange, and all the rides have color coordinated. They show if they can ride them. So I was like, well, that is so smart. You go right there in the beginning, get your wristband, and then there's no fighting with the kids about measuring them every time.
Yeah, absolutely. It really sets their expectations and they can kind of self-manage, what they are and are not able to ride.
Yeah. Okay, before we talk about your Dollywood day, we're just going to finish with the resort. So the amenities, we already talked about, there's an indoor and outdoor pool. The outdoor pool at DreamMore, it's like a big kind of zero entry pool with some bubbly little splash area. There's also a splash pad off to the side, which little kids love. And then there's almost like, it's not a lazy river, but it's a little cove that shoots water almost like a lazy river. So I remember my kids swimming through that over and over again. Yeah. Like it's a lazy river, but it's a little bit of just a short little jaunt. Mm-hmm. We also took advantage of the indoor pool one night when it was chilly. There's Camp DW, which has children's activities. So that's like s'mores by the campfire, nightly story times in your PJs with milk and cookies. There is a spa, which I haven't hit up yet. And then there is a couple dining options. So there's the quick service pantry, which has quick bites, breakfast sandwiches, sandwiches throughout the day, ice cream, and then also pizzas at night, which is really helpful for us because one night we ordered a big, huge pizza and just brought it down to the pool. And then they have their restaurant Hearth and Song, which is a breakfast buffet or a dinner buffet. You do have to pay for it and make a reservation, but it's a way to kind of fill up with some yummy food for breakfast or dinner. And then there's a lounge, which is more of like a drinks area. And then poolside, you can order stuff. So do you remember taking advantage of any of the on-site food at the DreamMore?
Yes, we took advantage of all of it. My son loved the buffet at Hearth and Song. They had like a little donut, make your own donut.
Yep, we did that too.
Yeah, that was his favorite part. We were talking to him about the trip last night, and that's one of the things he brought up again. And the quick service every morning. He's an early riser, so we would wake up, go downstairs, get our little coffee and breakfast to start our day and go from there. And like you said, the pizzas came in very clutch many times for our picky eaters.
Perfect. And then did you guys do the s'mores or the bedtime stories?
Yeah, we tried to do that.
Okay. Are you there? It froze for a second.
Yes,
Okay,
Yes.
perfect. All right, so let's go back to the park. So you get to the park. Do you remember if you took advantage of the time saver opportunity that they offered to you so there's 3 levels of time savers, and Dollywood gives you the first level, which is $60 a day, which gets you on like 5 rides or something.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we did take advantage of it. Now my kids are little, so the more popular rides, obviously we weren't going on, but we couldn't leave without my third child, my husband, getting on some roller coasters using the time saver. He did the Tennessee Tornado with his time saver.
We love that one. That goes upside down like 3 times. So we finally got my oldest 12-year-old on that, and she was kind of freaking out, but also loved it. It's a big coaster.
It is. It is. So the boys love to see their dad ride that. We used our time saver for that. But the rest of it I felt was very manageable, even if you didn't have the time saver. We were there midweek, but there was really no lines almost. It was crazy. That's
a good tip.
Amazing. Yeah.
Midweek is a good time to go. The time savers are kind of random. You might not have had to do this because you probably had it already on the Dollywood kind of lanyard that you get. But for other people, if you just book a time saver, like on the website, there's other levels. You can get more and more kind of fast pass levels. In order to get it, I just wanted to mention this. You have to enter the park, and then kind of just to the left of the main big theater that's really pretty, there's a little time saver office, and you have to go in there and stand in line and get your time saver kind of tickets that you put in your lanyard. So it's just random. It's an extra step. I definitely think time savers are amazing, especially as you have older kids and older families, because they let you do a lot during the day. But just kind of a quick tip that if you book it, you have to go get it once you get into the resort.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so aside from Tennessee Tornado for your husband, what were some of your other favorite areas or rides that your kids or your husband enjoyed?
We love the Wildwood Grove area, and that's newer, right?
Yeah, we love that area too.
Yeah, because it's really geared towards my kids' ages. And then we could not get out of there without the games section of it as well. We spent a lot of time in there.
The country fair?
Yes, the country fair area.
Yes. So we love country fair as well. It's like when you enter the park, it's really far down to the right. You kind of got to like seek it out because it's a little bit, I feel like it's a little bit off the beaten path. You kind of go down and into it, but it really does feel like a country fair. And they have all those country fair games where you can win the stuffed animal. When we were there, you had to go like load up a little card. It wasn't like you could just give them $5 or $1. You had to go load up a card. And then you went around and played the games. My son's like obsessed with it. And then there are tons of sweet rides for little kids. I would almost say the entire area is little kids rides, like the little flying elephants, like a Dumbo that go up and down, a very mini version of one of those drop rides where it brings you up and you're sitting with your legs dangling and drops you straight down. But there's a mini version, which my 6-year-old did and loved it. And it wasn't too scary for her at all. There's some swings that kind of go round and round. So there's a lot. You can spend a lot of time in country fair if you have little kids.
Yeah, we could. And then the other thing we really liked, which was it gave us a little bit of a reprieve, was the Falcon Show.
That's outdoors, right?
Yeah, it was nice to kind of sit there for a second and, take a break from all the walking and rides and all that.
Does that one have seats?
Yeah, I want to say there was bleachers there.
Yeah. So that's a good one too, to kind of like take a little break. There's always kind of stuff popping up like singers or shows, and it's kind of nice just to pop into one whenever you need a break.
Yeah, it was. It was really nice.
So one other thing we love in Wildwood Grove as the kids get a little older is the Whistle Punk roller coaster. Did your kindergartner do that?
No, he was a little younger then.
Yeah.
Now I think he would, but
yeah, it's mini, it's cute, but they feel like they did a coaster. So I love that one. And then I just have to mention Big Bear, which is brand new. It's a huge orange coaster. You can't miss it. It runs through the whole park, but it's so fun and it's 2 minutes long. And there's it's like a bear is chasing you because of the audio. It's super fast. It does not go upside down. So it is considered family friendly. You only have to be 39 inches. My 6-year-old did not do it, and I don't think she would have liked it because she doesn't love like coasters. But my 8-year-old and 12-year-old absolutely loved it. And so did my husband and I. Like, I highly recommend that for families. It does get a really long line. So the best thing to do is to go there like first. But if you ever go back, that's one to hit up.
Yeah, we definitely plan on going back. We've been talking about maybe this summer, maybe next spring break.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about food. Do you remember any food that you got or any places that you ate?
Oh, well, we definitely ate the cinnamon bread. That was one of our, I think that was our lunch stop, the grist mill for our cinnamon.
Perfect.
Yes.
And I did want to mention that I just saw on Dollywood's Instagram a few days ago that they just updated the way you order it, which I think will help with the lines. Now, instead of everybody filing into that grist mill, which is like a big wooden water wheel mill, you go to a different counter where you tell them what you want, you pay, you get a receipt with like a number or your name on it. And then you go into the grist mill and they call out your name. So it's almost like two separate areas. And I do, because every time we've been, we're like, oh my gosh, that line is so long. So hopefully we'll see this will change the efficiency of that line.
Yeah. And if you didn't want to wait in that line, they also had that same cinnamon, what was it called?
It's just called cinnamon bread.
Cinnamon bread. They had the same cinnamon bread at the resort.
Yes.
So I think the one day we couldn't get it in the park, but we were like, we'll have it as a treat when we get back. So that was nice too.
Okay. Anything else?
We also had lunch, or probably like late lunch, early dinner, at it was like a 50s cafe type thing.
Red's Driving.
Yes.
Yep. It's like burgers, hot dogs, and fries.
Yep. Yeah.
Works with kids.
Yeah. 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 So it was nice. Very efficient. There wasn't a lot of lines or waiting or anything. There was plenty of room to sit indoors. Since it was April and it was still pretty nice out, we sat outdoors and ate, and it was very enjoyable.
And don't you feel like in general, Dollywood is just so clean?
So clean. Yes.
That was something that surprised me.
Yes. Everyone we came across was so kind, and it really gave me a lot of Disney vibes, but much slower paced, and just kind of easier to navigate and manage.
Definitely. Like, I love a Disney trip. We always will, but it is like a commitment. Yes. It's a commitment financially. It's a commitment to all the things. And because there's so much you don't want to miss from sunup to sundown, you just end up getting so exhausted by the end. Someone gets sick. Again, love it. Going to continue doing it. But Dollywood is like a slower paced trip where people still get that amusement park fun, but it's just slower paced.
It is. And we always say, like, did we just get it at a good time, since it was like, maybe it's considered their shoulder season, before their spring or their summer crowds rev up? Or was it just that good? And we're like, no, I think it was just that good. I think we just liked it that much.
Yes, it is just a wonderful park and a wonderful trip. Okay, I know we're getting close on time for you to get back to your sweet second graders. You're seriously so sweet to do this. I'm going to briefly mention that. So we're talking about DreamMore Resort today, but she did open a brand new one just a few months ago, a new resort called Heart Song, which we walked through. It's like a lodgy feel. So the other one's more of like a country chic feel. Heart Song, big stone, gray fireplaces, greenery, maybe a little bit more of a high end, but they have all the same pricing. Great, exact same thing. Indoor, outdoor pool, restaurants, quick service cafe. But if I go back, I'm going to try that one just to mix it up. It looks amazing.
Absolutely. Yes.
So just wanted to mention that. And then before we go, were there any other things you did in the area? Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg, Great Smoky Mountains, anything you guys ventured out and did?
Yeah. So we did Great Smoky Mountains. We had a 1.5-year-old and a 4-year-old with us at the time, 4.5-year-old. But they had so many family friendly hikes, and we were actually able to bring our double bob with us. So little tip for parents, if you're looking for something like that, but you have someone who needs to be in a stroller, we always look for their handicap accessible trails, because we know that we'll be able to take the stroller on those. So we were able to do a couple short hikes with our boys, and beautiful scenery and all that. Cades Cove was a drive that we did. It's on the longer end, so you kind of have to gauge your kids whether or not they're going to be able to kind of sit in the car for, I think in all it took us maybe an hour and a half. But we did see bears, so that was super fun for them. We also
you saw a bear?
Saw a bear. We were in the car, thankfully, and they were all the way up in the woods, but we did see bears.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, April is, I guess, their mating season or, something like that. So we were warned that we might come across a bear. That was super exciting for the boys. And we went up to Anaquista, which was beautiful. And we got some pancakes, I think they call them flapjacks down there at one of the famous pancake houses.
Pancake Pantry, maybe?
Pancake Pantry, yes, that's what it was. And we enjoyed the area. I mean, there's so much to do. And I don't think we even scratched the surface of all you can do. We did a mountain coaster one day, which was awesome, and just kind of, explored.
So Anaquista has been on our list, and every time we go, we just can't manage the line. So was your line long, or what time did you get there, and how was it with little kids?
Our line was not long because we ended up there on a rainy day. Perfect. So it was beautiful, very Instagram worthy.
You take like a trolley car up or a gondola up?
Yes, you can take either like the open air ski lift up, which I was not prepared to do with a 1.5-year-old. But they also have gondolas. And if you need one of those gondolas, you're bound to wait in a much longer line. We lucked out because it was a rainy day. So the visibility once we got up there was not great. And I think that kept a lot of people away. But it's mostly like shopping and dining. They do have a little ropes course and a couple different little climbing areas for the kids. I think my kids needed to be a little bit older to fully appreciate it. It's on top of a mountain. So you're like, don't go over there. Just stay back here. But it was beautiful. We did have a small lunch up there. The food was delicious. There was a lot of cute little shops and stuff. I remember some of it being closed because of the weather, but.
Did you bring your stroller up on the gondola or no?
No, we did not. I think I wore the baby up.
Okay.
I think I in the carrier.
Yeah, that's definitely on our list. I've got to make that happen. We're just going to go first thing in the morning one day.
Yeah, I think that's what we did. I think we hit Pancake Pantry and then went right up to Anaquista. And the sun did come out later as we were driving out of Gatlinburg. And the line was tremendous. We also went to a little, if anybody's kids my son was very into Batman at the time. And there was a car museum there, which had the Batmobile in it. So we were able to hit that up and he loved that. Yeah, it was great.
Oh, fun.
There's literally something for everyone in that area.
Yes, that's what I love. I always say, you can bring the littlest preschoolers up to grandparents, the entire family. There's something to do. It's just
absolutely wonderful. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to close each show with, if someone listening is considering this trip, what is it about Dollywood and the DreamMore Resort that would make you say, just book it?
I think it's like the luxury and the elevated sense of style, but at a sensible price tag. I felt like I was staying at the equivalent to the Grand Floridian, but not paying that price, but still getting the service, still the attention to detail. And there was so much for your family to do just at the resort alone that we spent a couple days just doing the pool, hanging out, getting the s'mores, all that. We never even had to leave. It really felt very all-inclusive. Everything was there for you. Totally family friendly. You did not need to worry about anything once you got there. And I really think that that's what it is. And what I just said, there is something for everyone in the area.
Yes, I agree. With her resorts, it really feels like you're in a Dollywood bubble.
Yes.
And you really don't have to leave. If you just want that luxury hotel and the amusement park and you don't want to deal with Gatlinburg and Pigeon Forge traffic and all that kind of stuff, you don't have to at all.
Right. You get there, you get some little Instacart to drop off anything you need, and you're there. You're enjoying yourself. You're on vacation for sure.
Yes. And then if you do feel adventurous and want to go to the Great Smoky Mountain National Park or down into the other towns, then you've got that option as well. So it's a wonderful, wonderful family trip any time of year.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, Laura. Well, thank you so much for being here. We'll let you get back to your second graders.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
That wraps up another episode of Trip Tales. If you have a trip you'd like to share about on the podcast, email me at triptalespodcast@gmail.com and I'll add you to the schedule. Also, be sure to follow the show so that you don't miss any upcoming vacation destinations. And if you have an extra minute in your day, please leave a review for the podcast. It helps more than you could imagine. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next episode of Trip Tales.